What's up everybody on YouTube? Cody here for another video. So, I figured something for fun. I got this idea from a meme I saw on Twitter. It's one of those memes with Batman slapping Robin whenever Robin says something stupid. So the meme said, with Robin, check out my digital game, and Batman would slap Robin saying physical. So I figured, why not do that? Since I've shared my physical copies of video games on PlayStation, Xbox, excuse me, English, so I figured why not show you my digital games that I have on my 360, PS3, PS4, and the Nintendo Switch. So yeah, I got multiple consoles that I have digital games. So first up, I'm going to show you what I have on my Xbox 360, which I love the Xbox digital games because, I know that it may just disappear one day, which I know, but most of the old school games that you try to buy physical copies, uh, they would probably go up to $100, $200 online, unless you find a some kind of flea market or thrift shop to get it for like $8. But you don't see that often. So here are some digital games that I own digitally. Thanks for interrupting, phone. There. What possibly go wrong, right? Anyways, alright. First up, I got Call of Duty Classic. I was looking for a physical copy of this for the Xbox. I know that they have it for the PC, but I have the PC version on Steam, but you only can play it with a mouse and keyboard, and I don't like that because I'm more of a controller guy. So I did stream this game. I still need to finish it. Really enjoy that game. So next up, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. This game is a classic. So I did try to find a physical copy of this, but holy shit, that game is expensive online. So I'm hoping one day if I find it at my flea market or somewhere for a cheaper price, because I don't want to spend hundreds or $200 on video games. A really fun game. Next up, Contra. So it is a fun game. I don't play it very often, but I'll play it whenever I feel like playing some Contra. Next up, Dead Rising 2 Case Zero. I don't know if there's a physical copy of this, but see, everything seems to interrupt me today. So, Case Zero, I only played like a little bit of it, but I've only played Dead Rising 1, 2, and 3 version, but I didn't really play the side story games. So next up, Duke Nukem 3D. So it's a fun game. I do like playing Duke Nukem games, except for Zero Hour, and there's another Duke Nukem. Duke Nukem Goes to Manhattan or something like that. I have not played that. Next up, Escape Dead Island. I have not played this yet. I have a lot of Dead Island games digitally that I bought that was on sale for like $8, I think. So I went for it. So whenever I finish Riptide and Retro Dead Island, all those games, I'm going to check out Escape Dead Island. Next up, Gun. This game is similar to Red Dead Revolver, but the controllers are more complicated than Red Dead Revolvers. So it is a fun game. Takes place in the 1880s. So next up, Mega Man 9. I got this pretty much free because I got that Xbox reward that they gave me, like $10. So I get those like every once in a while, which is pretty cool. I wish that Sony would do that, but whatever. So it is a fun game. Yeah. Not the best graphics, but it is what it is for a game that's 15 years old. I think it may be 17 years old. Next up is Midway Arcade Origins. I love old school arcade games from the 80s. This thing is so awesome. I got it for like a couple of dollars because it was also on sale. Next up, Mortal Kombat Arcade Collection that has Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3. So, kind of sucks that it's not available on the newer consoles. I wish it does. There are some games that are not compatible to the newer consoles, but I actually like digital games more on the PS3 and 360 because they have like games that I played when I was a kid. So it's pretty awesome that they include all three of them. Next up is Prince of Persia Classic. This game is difficult. I have not beaten this. I've never gotten far in this, so eventually I'm gonna have to try again. It's those goddamn traps I fall for. Next up, Resident Evil Code Veronica. I used to have this for the PS2 when it came out. Freaking awesome game. Next up, Shinobi. Another awesome game. I remember playing this on the NES back in the early 90s. I remember renting it. Next up, Silent Hill Collection. I played very little of this, so I'm going to have to. It reminds me of Resident Evil, so yeah, I gotta get back to it. Next up is Sniper Ghost Warrior. I pretty much bought this for like $1, so I only played it once, so eventually I'm gonna have to get back to it. Next up is Sonic and Knuckles. Awesome game. Just love Sonic games. Next up, Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog is such a classic game. Next up, Torchlight, which I do not remember downloading this game. This game was free, I guess, but I just don't remember downloading it. So I must have downloaded it one night and totally forgot, but I tried it. It's actually pretty fun. It's kind of like War of Warcraft, I think, but I never played War of Warcraft, but I've seen people play it. Next up, Wolfenstein 3D. Awesome game. So that's all of the digital games that I have on my Xbox 360, which I'm always still looking at some game. What I do is, like, I don't really like playing digital games, but I would look on Amazon or eBay and see how much they are asking for these games. If they're asking for a decent price, I'll go for it, but it's mainly that reasons I just don't want to spend $50 or $100 on these games. So now next to the PlayStation 3. Move to the PS3. You know, I love the PS3 game, digital games they have here. So I just love the fact that they have really good selection of PS1 games. What I'm so disappointed about Sony is that all the games that you buy from PS3 you can't transfer to the PS4 or PS5. So I'm hoping that they would change that, because Microsoft will actually let you to transfer your digital games that you bought on Xbox 360 to your Xbox One or Series. So that's why I respect Microsoft a lot more than I do with Sony. And I was a big time PlayStation guy years ago. Then I shifted to my Xbox for that one reason. So, and yes, I'll still play PlayStation games, and of course buy digital games if necessary. Um, so first up is Final Fantasy 3. Unfortunately, when I bought this, it requires a PSP, which I was like, oh fuck. But I'm thinking about buying this on Steam and just play it on there instead, unless I can find a PSP for a good price somewhere, which I never see a PSP at flea markets or in my local game shops. So hopefully maybe I'll find one, which I would love to get some more consoles like the PSP, GameCube, Sega Dreamcast, and all that stuff. So I was never able to play Final Fantasy 3, and I hope I do. Next up is Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate Core Fighter. This is a free version. I only can play the arcade, can't play the story. Next up is Fire Pro Wrestling Returns. This game is so much fun. I actually prefer this game over Fire Pro Wrestling World that's available on PS4 or whatever the console you can play it on, which is really fun to play. Next up, Castlevania and the Lament of Innocence. I've played very little of this, so I'm going to have to get back to this because I meant to start streaming this. So I think this is the only PS2 digital game I own on my PS3, but I would love to. I don't know if I'm gonna buy any more digital games with PS3 because Sony has done some updates where they're making it tough for me to buy any digital games that I want to buy because, like I mentioned earlier, and I dropped my controller. I mentioned earlier is that most of the PS1 games, they're very expensive, like Final Fantasy. They ask a lot of money for that. So next up, Legend of the Dragoon. This is a pretty good game. I think this is also one of the games that are pretty expensive, so can't remember how much they were asking for. It's been a while since I've looked this game up. Medieval, fun game, another game that is pretty expensive on Amazon, eBay, or whatever, unless you're lucky enough to find it at a pawn shop or some sort of local game shop in your area that they may ask for, I don't know, $8. It's Silent Hill for the PS1. Now, I would love to have a copy of this, but just like most of the PS1 games, expensive as fuck. It's usually the greatest hits that are cheaper. You know, I would buy it even if I don't mind buying the greatest hits PS1 games. So, yep, Silent Hill digitally, that's what I like about PS3 and 360 stores, is they got games like this that you can't find on the Xbox One or Series, which I can't really say much with Series games because I don't own one yet. Hopefully soon. So Silent Hill for the PS1. Next up, Final Fantasy Tactics. Another game that I think it's pretty expensive to find. Next up, Medal of Honor Underground. I have yet played this, so can't really say anything about it since I have yet played it. I don't know how much they're asking for it on eBay or Amazon. So next up, Final Fantasy Origins, Final Fantasy 1 and 2, which I fucking love this game. I love the old Final Fantasy games. So much fun. This is like one of those games that are expensive too. Well, not really, but I think they're asking like $30 for this kind in the greatest hits version. Next up, Medal of Honor. This game's freaking awesome. The control, I get like really confused with the controls because it's not one of those where you pretty much have to use both analogs for the movement. So yeah, awesome game. Next up, Twisted Metal 2, which I have the first one on the PS Classic, so I went ahead and bought Twisted Metal 2. So hopefully one day I'll get a physical copy one day. You know, even though I have digital games, but I'm still gonna buy a physical copy if I ever find one with a good price. Next up, Gex Deep Cover Gecko, which is an okay game. I bought it because I like playing Gex games, which I'm so surprised that they never included Gex in the PS Classic Mini Sony released. Next up, Gex Enter the Gecko, another awesome game, and of course the first Gex. I remember playing this back in the mid '90s. I didn't own the game, but I remember playing this at a friend's house who had it. Next up, Castlevania Chronicles. Awesome game. I really enjoy the shit out of this game. Eventually, I'm gonna have to stream some Castlevania games one of these days. Next up, Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. I was like, when I first got the PS, I didn't have this PS3 console until around 2017 or 2018 because I was playing on my Xbox 360. So I just didn't get a PS3 until like years later. So I was checking out their PS3 stores and holy shit, I was like, they have so many awesome PS1 games. So I would love to find a copy of this. I have seen one at my flea market store that he had both Resident Evil 2, the Resident Evil Director's Cut, but not cheap. So, which is understandable. I think they're becoming rare. Next up, Resident Evil 2, which I used to have this game back in the day, but not anymore. I would love to find a physical copy with a decent price. And the final one, I have two of these on the PS3 and 360. Castlevania Symphony of the Night. The reason why I bought both is because I don't know how much longer my PS3 is gonna last, because it seems to heat up faster lately. But hopefully it'll last. Probably might I wanna buy another PS3 and hopefully sometime soon, so that way I can just re-download all my digital games to that. So that's all my PS3 games. So moving on to, I think I'll move on to the Xbox One. Now that we moved on to Xbox One, which this is my second try because I had a little issues with my OBS with the lag, so I have to turn my cam off because I have a 4GB RAM. So if you ever watch my streams, you know how much I hate using OBS. So most of these are like Game Pass, so I'm not gonna include Game Pass. So I'm just gonna show you the ones I own digitally. So that's Game Pass. I have that physically, Game Pass, physical, Game Pass, uh, Dead Island Retro, which that came with Dead Island Definitive Edition, which I got for a good price. Dead Island Riptide Definitive Edition, which I will be streaming soon, which I'll be playing with Echo Zero, if he's up to playing some Dead Island Riptide. So, physical copy, Game Pass, physical copy, physical copy, Game Pass, physical copy, Game Pass, physical copy, uh, Game Pass, I think, Game Pass, physical copy. Wait, no, this is Game Pass. Game Pass, Game Pass. Tomb Raider Definitive, I pretty much got it free because I got that Xbox reward for like $5 or $10. Can't remember. I get those every once in a while. I love when that happens. Game Pass. Resident Evil 4 I bought for like, I think it was like $5 on sale one time. Resident Evil 2, or I mean Red Dead Redemption 2. I have a physical copy of this on my PS4. I wanted it on my Xbox because I play the Xbox One is probably the only console I play the most on. I have multiple consoles, and Xbox One is probably the only console I play the most on. So Red Dead Redemption 2 on the Xbox, physical copy. That's Game Pass. I have more. Gonna have to go to group. Okay, here we go. That was like a free game. Brawl, I'm sure that's on everybody's console. Costume Quest, I don't know why I played that. It was free, of course. Game Pass. Contra, I had on my Xbox 360. Enlisted, have yet played. Full Spectrum Warrior, which I think I got that for free or paid a couple of dollars on it. Hunt Showdown, not really big on this game. It's not terrible, but it's not one of those games that I'll play often. Showed you Sonic and Knuckles on my 360. Showed you that. Mega Man 9, I think I showed you that. Phoenix, I think that's how you say it. That's a free game. Splitgate, played it once. Star Trek Online, I played it on my PC, but I'm gonna eventually probably re-download it on the console since my computer sucks. Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, I'm not really a big fan of. I played it once, but just didn't really get into it. Here's Warface, which I actually enjoy playing this. For a free game, it's pretty good. Wolfenstein 3D, which is pretty awesome. If you like Doom, you'll like Wolfenstein 3D. Dead Island Retro. I think I had this on the 360 as well. No, I don't think I did actually. I think I only have it on the Xbox One. Dead Island Riptide, I showed you that. Hopefully I can get back to it if Wi-Fi doesn't be a dick. That's all the digital games I have for the Xbox One. I think I still have more, but it's probably in one of the groups or something, because I thought I had more than that. So yeah, I did look through all of them. Yeah, most of the other digital games are through Game Pass, which I don't consider them owned games. So next up, I will switch to the PS4 if I can, since it won't work with my splitter screen to OBS. So see what happens. If not, then I'll go on my PC. Now that we are on my PC, I am logged into my Steam. So thought I'd just show you guys my digital games. Some were free, downloadable games, and some are. I didn't really bought that many games on Steam because I have a 4 GB RAM computer, which can't buy play any high quality game. I had to play games that works with 4 GB RAM. So hopefully I can afford a new computer that can handle new new games. So, anyways, here are the games that I've bought digitally. There some were free, like I mentioned. First up is Brawlhalla. I have this on my Xbox too. Like I said, I'm sure that it's probably on everyone's console. Call of Duty Classic. That I bought this first on the Steam before I did with the Xbox 360. When I bought this, I was hoping that it would work with a controller, but it doesn't. I tried to play it with a keyboard and mouse, but I do a terrible job at this, so bought it and it didn't work. So next up is Company of Heroes Modern Combat. So I don't know if I played this. Like, there's some of these games that I downloaded I have yet tried, and some are probably not working because they don't work with 4 GB RAM. Or I also need like some later updates for some of these. So yeah. Next up, Counter Strike Global. I never tried it yet, so it's not. I have to install some of these games. So if I remember, some of these like didn't really work with my computer. So time for a new one. Earthworm Jim. I was so excited when I found out that Steam had Earthworm Jim games, because you can't find them on PlayStation or Xbox. So unfortunately, when I bought it and tried to play it, there was a huge bug problem, and I was upset about it. So I try to play it best I can, if it ever lets me play it like a normal game, but with the bug issues and shit. So I wish that Steam would fix it. Earthworm Jim 2 that came with. I bought the whole trilogy. Same with Earthworm Jim, Buggy. I can't really play any of them. I also bought Gun on Steam. It is really difficult playing Gun on Steam because you pretty much, like, it depends. It is controller compatible, but the buttons are just doesn't always work, and you would have to use mouse for movement and all that stuff. So that's why I bought digitally on the Xbox 360, which I wish it was compatible for Xbox One, but eventually I'm going to buy a physical copy for it. Next up, Rogue Company. I haven't really played that much, so gonna have to install it one of these days. Star Trek Online, which I usually play on my PC, but I just uninstalled because I wasn't playing them lately. Star Wars: The Old Republic. I haven't able to play it. Like I said, that my computer's a piece of shit. Vampire, the Blood Hunt. Didn't get to play it. Same with what I said about Star Wars. My computer is a piece of shit. Warframe. I played a little bit. Just a fun game. So that's all the games I have for Steam. So I'm gonna switch to the PS4. I'm just gonna record the TV with my webcam because I don't want to mess with the course trying to use capture because it won't work with Splitter. I could like hook it to my game capture card, but I just don't want to mess with the cord, so you're just gonna see a shitty quality of the PS4 recording with my webcam. Okay guys, sorry for the terrible quality for the PS4. So I tried to connect it to my splitter screen capture card, but it was just, for some reason, it'll work with my other consoles, but with PS4 it was preventing me from doing it. So I'm just going to just record the screen with my shitty ass webcam. So first up, for digital games, I have Blair Witch. This game is pretty interesting. It's more of a investigation type game, psychological, and a lot of walking around. So if you're expecting like a action-packed type game, this isn't it, but it's decent if you're into psychological investigation type games. Next up, Bully, a classic game. DC Universe Online. I only played it like, I tried playing, but I didn't really get around to it. This is from PS Plus Premium, not mine. Dead Rising, awesome game. I'm going to eventually pick it up for Xbox One these days. Dead Nations, of course, it's a PS Plus Premium game, so I don't own it. Doom 2, another classic. Doom 64, probably my favorite Doom game. I used to have this for my Nintendo 64. Such an awesome game. Uh, Double Dragon, a classic. You know, I do like how Xbox and PlayStation sometimes has good 8-bit and 16-bit games. Far Cry 4, have yet played it. Far Cry 3 Classic, I played a little bit eventually. I'm gonna have to try live stream these days. Double Dragon 3, Far Cry 5. And I got all these Far Cry games very cheap. They were like $5 each at the time. I still need to get Far Cry 1 and 2. I do have Far Cry Primal, and I think that's all the Far Cry games I have. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicle or Chronix, yeah, Chronicle. I don't think I ever tried that yet. Fire Pro Wrestling World is okay game. I haven't really got into that very much, so I like Fire Pro Wrestling Returns so much better. So, Grand Theft Auto 5. I've mainly played that on the Xbox One. Digital comic book that came with my God of War game I bought. Fortnite. I haven't really played it. I have. This is PS Plus Premium. Injustice 2. I like the first Injustice so much better. I had a hard time getting into Injustice 2. Premium. Manhunt, another classic game from Rockstar. So, Mortal Kombat 11. I have the standard and the aftermath. That's physical. Resident Evil Resistance. Resident Evil 3 Remake Digital.
Predator: The Arrival. I had a hard time playing this. It's kind of like Blair Witch, a lot of walking around. Didn't really do much with it. This is a demo game or something like that. I don't remember what where I bought when I downloaded this. Premium, just like on Xbox. I play a little bit of Star Trek Online. The Last of Us, Left Behind. I played last. Sorry, I can't talk or shit. I played Last of Us on the PS3. I was gonna buy Left Behind for the PS3, but with the whole update Sony did, it was difficult to buy the PS3, so I bought the PS4 version. I don't have this. I just still have to purchase that since I bought Left Behind, not the full game of Last of Us for the PS4. The Walking Dead Definitive series, which I love Walking Dead games. Season 1 is my favorite. Sorry, my phone. Seems like everyone likes to interrupt my video. Walking Dead Season 2, I also bought that. So, A New Frontier, I actually liked A New Frontier. I know this is probably the most hated Walking Dead game, but I enjoyed it. The Wolf Among Us, fucking awesome game. It's probably one of the best Telltale's games. Premium War of the Monsters. I remember renting this game for the PS2 years ago. World of Legend, Warships Legends. Didn't play that. I just downloaded it. Haven't really played it. These are from WWE 2K20. I didn't mind 2K20 to be honest. Unfortunately, I uninstalled it, and when I reinstalled it, it was non-playable anymore. I could not select any matches or anything. So I've been pretty much been fucked over by 2K. Red Dead Revolver. This is like an underrated Rockstar game. Really enjoyed it. So I hope they can do a remaster, definitive edition one of these days. I would like to see that happening. Resident Evil Biohazard. I have a hard time passing the first part of the game, so I need to try play, but I just can't pass the first part of the mission. The Last of Us Part 2. I have yet played it yet, but I'm gonna save it for streaming one of these days. But I have other games I want to stream first. So that's all the digital games I have for the PS4. Alright, now we are at my final console for digital games. So, low battery. Okay. So I did have more games, but I've uninstalled just to make some room since Nintendo Switch had like 32 gigabytes of memory. So first up, Castlevania Anniversary Collection. I play this the most whenever I'm on the Switch. Halo, haven't really played that much, so I'd like to get back to it. Pinball Arcade, Genesis Classic, really enjoyed this. Got it for like $7. Zombieland Double Tap Road Trip. Not really. I didn't really get into this. Next up, Castle Heart. It's an okay game. Uh, AAW, Action Arcade Wrestling. I played this a few times. It's alright. I like that you can actually download it. Wrestlers that are created by other people. Guys like Bret Hart, Stone Cold, The Rock, which is pretty cool. I like it. Next up, the House of the Dead remake. Really good. I really enjoy this game, and I would like to live stream this. So maybe I'll live stream this later, or after I finish Dead Island Riptide. Next up, Into the Dead 2, which I have streamed this. I am stuck in one of the missions. I kind of haven't played since, but eventually I'll get back to it. Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the game, which is pretty good. I didn't really play that much, so yeah. And I think that's all the games I have for now. And I know I have other games that I had bought, I installed, but I can't find them. So I know I have more, so I still need to look it up and see how I can find my other ones. So that's all of my digital. Sorry, my voice is about to go out. So thank you for watching the video. Hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, hit that like button. You can follow me on social media, where they're all linked in the description box below. Check them out if you want to. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and I will see you all in the next video or live stream. See you guys around.